Biscuit, if you and I are getting a breakfast sandwich, where's the best sandwich and where's the best biscuit so we can have our best experience?
Man, best sandwich. Honestly, I'm not a big breakfast sandwich eater, but actually, I think the Nimitz Library here and Miss Natalie and all the staff over there, they make some pretty good sandwiches over there. So that's a daily stop for me.
For you, let's talk about your development here. I mean, year by year, we have seen an incredible progression. As the expectations have grown for you, the production has grown from you. What has been the key to finding that type of success at a grueling position?
Just always taking things from another person or another coach, and just studying other people's game and see what you can add to your game. So that's one thing I've been trying to do from the past off seasons, and the past years I've spent with Coach Hall and Coach Volker and Coach Newberry and those guys. Just even taking stuff from my teammates and just see the type of moves, the type of work, and even sometimes the type of leadership that they bring to the team and what they bring to the table. And, it's just always a learning experience and something you can take from them to add to your life and your game.
A lot of the voices you've been hearing for the last couple of years earn themselves some very sizable promotions. What is it about those men in your mind that put themselves in position to get those positions, especially guys on the defensive side of the ball who you're very familiar with?
Well, starting off with Coach Volker, he was just always a well-respected coach around this program, and I'm pretty sure that everyone knows that he's one of the best coaches on the staff, and he really knows what he's talking about. And he as a defensive coordinator, he just really brings the edge, and you can see in the linebacker room, he brings the edge to our defense that we need, and it's just a different dynamic with Coach Volker and the fire he brings to our team. He really, like, at least for me, he makes me love to play football. He makes me love to run the ball, just do all the little things right, and it's just hard not to love to play for a coach like Coach Volker. And Coach Newberry is just always, a really good football mind, and it was definitely deserving of him to get the head coach job here. And it's just someone who understands us, someone who understands the program, and someone who knows the things that we go through. And he just makes it known that we don't have excuses within our program. We have high expectations for us being here at the Naval Academy football school in any aspect of our lives. So, those are the two guys that really are deserving of their spots here at the Academy.
I'm going to knock on wood here when I ask this question. What is the key to surviving as a nose guard, taking care of your body because of the brutality that position and those of your fellow defensive linemen especially endure on a daily basis?
Honestly, to me, it just starts with your mind. You got to have a strong mind if you want to make it out here, and not just on the football field, but here at the academy. You may not feel the best at times. You just have to tell yourself to keep going, keep going, keep going. Don't stop. One play at a time. Your mind can get flustered in the game, in the moment on the field, and you just have to will yourself to a strong mind. With, of course, always taking care of everybody, standing in the training room. Just being mindful of what you do to your body and what you put in it. So those are some key things to really maintain your body, playing those guards.
Not that I'm going to ever, during the radio broadcast, confuse you with Croy. Any reason for the change to 0?
I really had no specific change, but I just was saying, why not me? Why not be the first defensive lineman, if I'm not mistaken, to wear single digit academy? So it was certainly a unique and special thing to do for me, and to represent our team in the best way I can in that number.
Appreciate it. I'll let Wags ask a few.
You are correct. You are the first 0 defensive lineman. Wags.
Donald, are you full go in the spring?
No, I'm not. I practiced the first 2 days of spring practice, and I got a procedure done on my shoulder that has me out for the rest of spring.
Yeah, so I was out there yesterday. I didn't see you out there. Well, just kind of tell me how are you approaching the rest of the spring? I mean, are you just trying, I know the coaches know what you can do. You're a proven commodity, but I'm sure you also wanted to get some more reps and improve. You always do, but just how are you approaching the rest of the spring now that you're not out on the field?
Yeah, like I said earlier, just taking all what I can from meetings and just asking coach questions still about the certain defenses we're in. What are some things that they expect me to work on and stuff like that that I can take mentally wise and at least out in practice. Like when it's team period, I try to bring as much energy as I can, just hype the defense up, and just try to hype the whole team up. Really, just bring their energy out while I can, and coaching the young guys up. I really enjoy seeing the younger guys grow, and just try to teach them what I can, and yeah.
Well, on that note, I did see some younger guys out there. I took notice of Tyler Nararian. I don't know. Strauss, help me out.
Narian.
Narian. Is he playing the tackle technique or the nose guard technique?
He's playing defense technique.
Okay. And I also saw a 91 Crane LaFond. Is he playing tackle or end?
And
Okay. So who are some of the young nose guards that are showing you something? Because I don't know that I saw Barber out there yesterday either.
yeah. Landon Robinson, he's a upcoming sophomore, rising sophomore we have here, and he's gonna be really good. He just got to put on a couple pounds, but I was really impressed with like some of the intangibles he has, like his ball get off. He's really strong, and as we go through spring, his technique is getting a whole lot better. Where he was in the fall, and it's just a thing to see him grow. And I'm just like, wow. He honestly surprised me coming out this spring how good he's doing. He's just making plays out there. And I hear people calling him Biscuit Jr. because he's not big either. He's like maybe 5'10" and maybe like 15 pounds lighter than me. So he's over there just looking like me, making plays, just hustling the ball. And that's some things that really stick out to me.
So is Nolan also sitting out the spring?
He medically retired. He medically retired.
Oh, okay. That's a shame. What about Jacob Greenwood at the end of last season for Army game? He was third on the depth chart. How's he doing?
He left the team.
Okay. So there's some rebuilding done at the nose guard.
Webb and Whiteside are the other two guys.
Okay. Well, so can you comment on those fellas too?
Oh, yeah. All those guys are upcoming sophomores. They just have a whole lot to learn, but the strides they've made this spring it's just been a fun thing to watch. I just can't wait to continue to see those guys grow and their technique get better. Their effort has just been phenomenal through spring camp. And I just can't wait to see them elevate their game to the next level from the spring to the fall.
You muted yourself, Wags.
So I imagine you're serving kind of as student coach right now. What are you trying to teach these guys about how to play this position?
Well, one thing in spring ball is just to hammer down on coaches who we are. One thing that can't be in question is your effort, how much you love the game. So one thing I really try to drive with guys is first, you just got to have a different mentality playing nose guard, just playing D-line in general. Like, yeah, we may get double teams and all kinds of different blocking schemes. We may be lighter than somebody, but you can't make that excuse. You just got to go harder. Teaching the guys some techniques, some movements, and some schemes from a defense that I've learned from the past 3 years here, and just try to help them out with plays and a lot of things in all kind of facets here from Coach Volker's defense and from what I've experienced in the past.
So it looked like, I think, is Clay getting some reps at nose guard?
In certain packages, we have Clay in nose guard too.
Right. So are you you have the entire defensive line returning with you, Busick, and Clay. I mean, what's your hopes, aspirations for this unit? I would imagine that it should be a strength for Navy, wouldn't you say?
Oh yeah, I have no doubt that we're if if not the best, we're at least top two in the country. Coming from rushing statistics in the country last year, and I just want to see us make more strides than we did last year. Like never stop improving. And me, Clay, and Music, we all have a good chemistry. So that serves another good part. Me and Music playing since snaps, and me and Clay have been playing together since sophomore year. So we're a real tight group, and the chemistry I think really shows.
Well, I mean, you did have obviously Navy's rushing defense was outstanding, highly ranked last year, but you don't want to rest on your laurels. There's, past performance is no indicator of future results, as they say. What do you got to do to keep ratcheting it up another level and again be a highly ranked rushing defense?
Like I said, just never stop improving. You can never be satisfied with where we were last year and where I am today, and where honestly just where we are as a team as a whole. So just having that mindset of finding one thing you could be better at today, find another thing you can be better at tomorrow. Just improve at least 1% every day. Just find something to be better at every day.
All right, thanks, Biscuit.
Sure.
For the record, Navy ended up third in the country in rushing defense, but was the only one in the top 10 that had to face 3 top 10 rushing offenses. Pete.
That's a good note. Keep that for September.
Thank you.
Actually, August. We talk about corners watching wide receivers watching corners. As a nose guard and a defensive lineman, do you guys spend time looking at the players that you're going to play against that week specifically and see, is there something I see in terms of a center and how he attacks? Is there a tendency that you see all the time, or an angle that a guard may take in a double team? Is that stuff that you all seek out on film and then obviously try to counter as you prepare during the course of the week?
Oh yes. From team to team, week by week, we try to see how much work the guard's putting in his hands. Maybe tipping off, his hand is light in the ground. He may be pulling her to pass, and just down the distance situations like that. And from tendencies of the left tackle maybe staying, maybe pass, maybe screen. Just week by week, we just take that. We're getting the film room, and we always, just go through those tendencies. Coach Hall's been doing a really good job week by week for the past couple of years, just pointing those out to us. Because there's some things I won't even catch. He'll point that out for us and be a real good help for us.
You're not the 320-pound nose tackle, but how much does the fact that you're lighter play into help you, and the fact that you all play so much horizontal offense? I mean, you see so much sideways passing, backs out of the backfield, and we see you running plays down all the time. Is that one of those areas where maybe being a little bit lighter and playing against so much horizontal football helps you to pursue in situations like that?
Oh yes. I honestly think of it as a +1 from many teams, like seeing defensive linemen that can run sideline to sideline and just make plays on the perimeter. You just got 11 guys actually flying around to the ball. It just separates you from a whole lot of defenses in the country. And I just feel like, honestly, I just love running the football sideline to sideline. It just makes me feel like, I don't know if y'all remember the 2009 LSU Tigers and that team I think that was the team that went to the national championship. But just flying around to football is just like really fun. So I enjoy doing that and playing for Coach Wilker's defense, and that's our culture. Every defensive lineman is expected to run to the ball, even if it's 50 yards down the field.
Heading to be a first-classman yourself now, obviously even more leadership is expected of you and your fellow firsties. Who have been some of the leaders in the past that have maybe influenced you now, and you're trying to carry on that same type of leadership legacy on a daily basis out on the field?
Two leaders that really stuck out to me was from my freshman year was Jackson Perkins. I believe he was a team captain. Just the way he went about his business, just the way he went about his day. He never had a bad attitude, and he just was always just an upbeat guy. And your attitude and your mood is contagious. Like if people see you're down, then that negative energy can flow. So Perk really just he was just a good influence on our team and just a really great leader. And Mikey McMorris was another guy. He was quiet. I think he was underlooked, but he was honestly one of the best players we've had here, one of the best corners we had here in the fall. And, he wasn't a really talkative guy, but he was a leader by example. If you just go turn on the tape, you can see him hawking guys down from 80 yards. Just a really like a very good example of what our culture is and what we do at Navy.
Also appreciate you, sir.
Sure.
Biscuit, I think it was the 2011 LSU team that played.
I knew I was a couple years off.
Yeah. Wags.
Well, just one more from me. I mean, obviously the captain's going to be named at the end of spring practice, and leadership throughout the off season and during spring camp is taken into account. What would it mean to you to be selected as the captain of this team?
I mean, it would be an honor. Just having your teammates vote for you to lead the team, because you're on the team full leader. So if you're selected for that, it's just a huge honor. At one of our most prestigious institutions, one of the most storied college football programs in America. So it will really be a blessing and honor to do that.
All right, thanks, Biscuit. Good to see you.
Yes, sir.
I've got one. Mike Hollins, your high school teammate, who was involved in that was shot at University of Virginia during that tragic incident. He's back practicing spring football. What does that mean to you to see him back on the field?
And I saw some pictures of him, and we talked. I saw him in the summer when I was winter break had just started, and it was just good to see him doing well. And, I always knew he was a tough guy, so honestly, it didn't surprise me to see him back. But that just meant the world to me to see him. He's back playing football, doing what he loves. That was just a really good sight to see for me. I just love seeing him getting back to what he does.
Let's talk about the change with New becoming head coach and PJ taking over as defensive coordinator. Kind of how's that working out for you?
The transition has been smooth. It's awesome. Everything is flowing great. And we sit in that room, we bouncing ideas off of each other, and it's been great. I can't complain one bit. It's been good. It's been really good.
So we're just talking to Biscuit, and I know he's sitting out the remainder of spring after suffering an injury, and I've learned that Nolan Barber is medically unable to play, and so he's left the program, and the guy who was third string going to the Army game is also left. So you're kind of rebuilding at nose guard behind Biscuit. First of all, was it tough to lose Nolan? Because he was a really promising young player.
Oh, it was. It was. Being only a sophomore and being able to pick up, the techniques and being able to pick up the scheme the way he did. It was very, very valuable. You watch those games last year. Nolan was able to play the nose guard position and the defensive tackle position. So yeah, it was a blow, but we got some young guys that are getting better and ready to get it going.
Well, are you concerned about the depth behind Donald and that you don't really have guys that have played a lot?
No, I'm not concerned. This is what the spring is all about. The spring is all about developing, developing that quality depth that we need to go into a season. That has been the focal point in our room. We have a lot of talented guys when they're young, and it's a process, and those guys are coming out and they're getting better every day, getting better at their craft, and I've been pleased. We got a long way to go, but I've been pleased with the progress of our young guys, in trying to build that quality depth that we need for a ball game.
So can you talk about guys like Kendall Whiteside and Bryce Webb?
Yeah, so big bodies, both both guys are 280 pounds. Both guys can move. You know, just the biggest thing is just being able to keep sharpening, sharpening their tools. Their mind is right, and they're coming out to work every day with the mindset to get better. Both guys can take the coaching, and so and when you can take the coaching and you're open to learning, then you can pick it up rather quickly.
So obviously you've got returning starters at every one of the line positions. I saw Busick out there yesterday and Clay. What do you want to see Clay and Jacob get better at this spring?
Well, Clay knows his deal. We just gotta get better. Just his overall block destruction. I mean, he's he's a wrecking ball out there at times, which is good for us. But sometimes, you know, body control has always been a thing, and that's the main focal point for him is just being able to, you know, be better at the block destruction, and so a bunch of other guys too. So, you know, being a senior, playing a lot of reps for us and those types of things. Just overall block destruction with him. With Busick, just developing him to be a better pass rusher. You know, he has all the physical tools to be a good pass rusher, and we've been having meetings, you know, on the basic fundamentals of rushing the passer, and he's been doing some good things out there, you know, getting to the quarterback in passing situations. So we just got to continue to develop here as we go through with 7 practices left, and it's here in spring.
So can you talk about some of the younger guys at D tackle and D end? I mean, I know you got Justin at Reed behind Busick, but who are some of the younger D ends that are showing you something? I took notice of the one kid, number 91, last night. LaFond, I think it is. Yeah, he's a big, tall guy, 6'5".
Yeah. Crane's about 6'5", 260 pounds. You know, coming out of high school, he actually played, you know, played wideout, you know, coming out of high school, and he was a big athletic body that we felt like can develop into a defensive end, and that's what's going on now. Just like we thought, you know, he has length out there to play on the edge. You know, fundamentally, you know, we're working on him fundamentally. That's still a process, you know, and that's what spring is all about. But he comes out to work. He's showing some toughness out there. You know, get nicked up a little bit. That's not going to keep him out of practice. And I like where his head is at. You know, I like his mindset. You know, physically, we just got to continue to bring him along.
Who are some of the fellas behind Clay at D tackle?
Well, Tyler Naharian.
Yeah, I noticed him yesterday. Yeah.
Yeah, we brought him up to the varsity field, getting close to the end of the year. You know, last year when guys started getting banged up and things, and he really showed those guys, you know, on the show team. He really showed those guys, you know, some pop and things like that. So we brought him over, and he's a quick learner. You know, he's a really quick learner, and football is important to Tyler. He takes the coaching. He came from a good high school program out in California, modern day, and so I've been pleased at the work that he's been putting out there. He's one of the guys where, you know, you're in the meeting room and you're talking to him and you're explaining and you're teaching, and he can quickly go out on the football field and apply what you've been trying to teach him.
I want to correct something, Wags, because I messed it up. And Jerrick did too. It's Narayan is how you say his last name. So but I said it wrong on the Berniard. As soon as I said it, I knew I screwed it up. I went and double checked. It is Narayan. So I just want to get that on the record for Tyler.
All right, I'll hand it off.
Last name.
I said the same thing you did, Jerrick. I called him the
Pick your last name.
Stacy is the pronunciation guru. So
I've called him Aaron, and I've called him the Ryan. I call him both.
I'm just gonna call him Tyler. Pete.
Well, the good news is we're talking about his name. That means he's actually doing some things out there. Coach, you guys preach it obviously daily. Everybody's got to run to the football, but you guys play so much horizontal offense. When you see your guys up front and their willingness to and actually get to the football, make plays in those situations, just how big is it to see defensive linemen willing to take that on and obviously making contributions in those situations?
Oh, it's exciting to see. I mean, it's exciting to see. I mean, guys that's out there just out playing hard, playing for each other. And that's something that goes back to when I was playing ball, just about playing hard and running to the football. And so we call that a opportunity pursuit. Okay, it's an opportunity pursuit. Whereas if you're running to the ball on a perimeter play, that's an opportunity for you to be able to make a play. I mean, there's a fumble. The ball carrier can fumble the ball. All right, you can scoop that thing, you can fall on it, or you can actually cause a fumble by coming from the blind side and things like that. So we call that an opportunity pursuit, and our guys has bought into it, and that's why you see those guys, run so hard from sideline to sideline.
Especially your first group overall, from one end to the other. What has allowed those guys? Each year we've seen steady progression. We saw Clay play so well that we said, hey, we got to put him out there in a different position because we want to get our best football players out there. But what has it been in particular about those three guys that has allowed them to continue to progress each year and show you all more and more and obviously become productive football players as a unit?
I got to tell you, it's all about, and I've said this before, it's all about the film room. It's all about getting into the film room, watching tape, learning from your mistakes, and being able to apply that on the football field. Like that can never get old. It never gets old, and we always got to challenge ourselves to get better in that regard, and not get complacent and feel like, I've arrived or I got this, I know what I'm doing. It's always that hunger. It's always that challenge. It's always that being on edge, to get better. And I think, and that's what those guys have done over the last, 3 years, of them playing.
The fact that you guys play offenses with so much variety from a teaching standpoint, is there a great variety in the technique that you have to teach based on the different types of offenses that you may go up against, or do those techniques pretty much hold up against all of the varieties of offense that you guys see?
Yes. So this time of year here, it's not so much about the X's and O's. All right. So this time of year, fall camp, all right, it's all about technique. All right. It's all about technique, and it's all about understanding what the blocking schemes are. All right. And understanding that offenses are not going to give their offensive line a ton of blocking schemes to execute. So we talk about that in the spring, we talk about that in the fall, so that no matter what team that we play, all right, our techniques that we use is going to hold up against those blocking schemes.
Awesome. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Let's go back to Wags.
Well, obviously, Biscuit's been in the program, played a lot of football. I mean, are you seeing some strong leadership out of him?
Oh, absolutely. Because being out right now, he's able to teach those nose guards, and teach them and let them know how it's done. He's able, if I miss a certain play, I look over, he's on them. He's got them working, doing individuals, doing pod work and all that. He's helping those guys, and because he knows how I want it done, because he does it, and all he does is kind of like spread it to those guys, and that's how we build that depth, so that when he leaves the program, the next guy's ready to to take it over, and so forth and so on. So I've been happy with him as more of a leader, in the sense that is not physical right now, but he's leading those guys, in the mental aspects of the game.
You think that Donald is a strong candidate to be a captain of this team?
I'm not sure. I do know this. I do know the guys on the team. I know they look up to him, and I also know that they look up to him for a standpoint, as he's been in more service academy games than I want to say anybody else on the team. So I'm not sure which way they would go with that, but I know they really think a lot highly of him, and they trust him when it's time to go out there on the football field.
So with the lack of experience behind Biscuit at nose guard, will you use Clay at nose guard some?
No, Clay's defense. He's a defensive tackle. He's too valuable. Can he learn it? Yes, he can, because he played nose guard as a sophomore. So he can definitely learn it and pick it back up. We wouldn't skip a beat. But he's valuable, too valuable at defensive tackle position.